Well, I didn't like that. The video I just played was very sketchy, very skippy, very, you know how it goes. That's probably not a great start. Good to be back with you, everybody. By everybody, I mean my people. That's not for you, that's for me. Hi, Pugs Moran. We do this, well, we've been doing some form of a live stream current events chat show every day for the last 4 years. And I've taken a couple of days off, but we are back. We are back today. Nobody's in the chat room yet. Weird time. Don't think I've ever started a show at 3:30 before. But I'm monkeying around with times and, trying to do other things. So come one, come all. We'll get this show up on the road, moving any second now. Little different show today. I'm done with the whole rant thing where it's 4 segments and all of that. I'm just so desperately trying to create something new, something different. Just, I'm getting bored. You're getting bored. And here's what I realized. And it didn't take me all that long. Hi, Al. Hi, Tehran. Here we go. People are coming now. Didn't take me all that long to realize that, this is a hot topic current event show, and it's taken me like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, sometimes an hour to get into even, so maybe I need to cut to the chase. Now, I love my birthdays and are they going to heaven or hell? And, this day in history. I love those segments. But maybe those will be things that we'll do at the end of the show if it's a slow news day. I'm just tired of leaving things on the table and driving home and going, oh, I didn't talk about this. So we're going to change some things. Good to see you again, Al. Good to see CC and Leslie and Rhonda and all my people. Come on, let's go. Well, let's some more. What's that about? I just got a malware thing. It says, okay, I don't want that. All right, let's move over to the chat. Is that the chat room now? Are we good? All right, we're good. Chat room is good. Okay. That was weird, wasn't it? Here's what we're going to get into today. Here are the big stories. It's been a whole week of shit that I couldn't believe that I wasn't doing live streams because there was so much. And I'm like, I have thoughts. Just an example. I can't believe that I let the whole Conor McGregor dick pic story go by without telling you people what I think about that. Maybe that's its own special little video that I'll create. I don't know. Here's what we're doing today. Today, I'm going to go deep. We are going to gather together here, and we are going to watch the Shane Gillis monologue from the ESPYs last night. Shane Gillis, who I think is a historically talented, historically gifted comedian, and maybe he's just the right man for the right time or whatever. But Shane Gillis is brilliant, and he got up and hosted the ESPYs last night. I didn't even know it. I didn't even know that he was hosting the ESPYs. Otherwise, I would have watched. Typically, I don't watch the ESPYs. Who would? Kind of a serial killer tunes into that nonsense. Anyway, he hosted, and he did the Ricky Gervais thing. He did the Ricky Gervais where his monologue just crushed everybody in the room, and he didn't care. So we're going to go deep on that because the reaction this morning and this afternoon, it's funny. It's funny. And we're going to play some reactions from people, and we're going to talk about, societally speaking, what is Shane Gillis? What is his role here? Is he the devil? Is he a genius? Is he misunderstood? Is he somewhere in between? So we're going to listen to the monologue, and then we're going to go deep. We're going to really talk about what we saw. We'll break down the jokes. Nothing less funny than breaking down jokes. But Shane Gillis is having a society moment here. He is certainly the topic of conversation among a lot of people with a lot of different worldviews. So we're going to try and figure out what that is all about. We'll break that down. Also, man, I've been chomping at the bit. This Epstein file thing is driving me nuts. I am not an overtly political guy, right? I mean, anybody who follows me on Twitter or anything like that, you'll know I'm all over the road. Sometimes I look at my Twitter feed and I'm like, geez, if I was just finding me for the first time, I wouldn't know what this guy is. Is this guy MAGA? Is this guy a libtard? What is this guy? I'm normal is what I am. And as a normal person, I have some thoughts on the whole Epstein situation and how unbelievably entertaining it's all been. Oh, is this fun? We are watching people dick trip on the right, on the left. Oh, it's just... So we're going to break down the Epstein situation as it stands today. and we're going to delve into all of the different distractions that we've been fed over the past couple of days. We'll go through them. We'll go through hey, you shouldn't be talking about Epstein. You should be talking about this. So we'll go through those. What else do we have? Oh, we're gonna talk about that viral video. If you guys spend any time online, and I'm sure you do, you're online right now. If you spend any time online, you've probably seen the viral video of the astronomy.com. What is that? I hate when these stories break and then the news headlines all make it seem like we should know who the fuck this guy is. Astronomy CEO, blah, 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 caught cheating on his wife at Coldplay concert. Yeah, a couple of scumbag cheaters got themselves up on the big Jumbotron, and their reaction was amazing. So we'll do that as well. We'll break that down. What else do we have? Some interesting local news, at least for me, because this happened like walking distance from where I sleep at night. Rashee Rice, SMU standout wide receiver, Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver. Rashee Rice, who you may remember about a year ago, was involved in a very public car accident, right there at 75 and Mockingbird, my exit, right there on the campus of SMU. He had rented like a Lamborghini and a Porsche Cayenne, and he and his boys were out racing up and down 75 Central. And last year they caused a major accident. Now, not major in that there was a death toll or any serious injuries, but it's just a really screwed up situation. And it triggered a lot of us here in Dallas because we see these people, especially through the Highland Park SMU stretch of 75 Central, these entitled sons of bitches who don't believe in traffic limits or, I mean, I don't really either, but there I do. So Rashee Rice got sentenced today, and we're going to talk about what that looks like and what that could do to affect his career and all of that good stuff. Local stories. That's what we do here. Local stories. Hi, Jen. It's my girl, Jen. It's my boy, Mike. I just said excuse him. Hey, here's an observation. So I'm looking at, what's her name? I call her Bangable Amy Schumer. She's the White House spokesperson. Carolyn something, whatever. Top heavy. I just realized that. My God. I just saw like a full body picture of her walking up the White House driveway there. Pretty nice is what I'm saying. She's an attractive woman. She's a bangable Amy Schumer. Mama B. Oh my God. I love it when I take some time off and then the people that I really hope will come back. So thank you. By the way, speaking of the time off, it's summer and it's I got to do other things. The Trump economy. That's what I like to say. I just like to say, when I say the Trump economy, I'm saying that for two people. I'm hoping that it triggers Byron and Barney. Trump economy. Got nobody tipping the show, so I'm taking some extra time off and all that kind of stuff. But thank you to the people who do support this show. And as always, if you do feel so inclined, I'll tell you what, I'll put this on down here. Here you go. A little bit, no more. There you go. Help support daily, independent, local talk. If you're so inclined. We haven't received, we got, let me say this. So the last time I did a show, I just kind of threw it out there. I said, I just got to be able to make $20. I just got to be able to make $20 a show. That's what I'm looking at. Like, yeah, I want to do a show, make 20. It's got to be that. It started out at 100. Like 4 years ago, it was like, I think we could probably make $100 a show through a combination of blip, blap, and blap. But that never worked out. So before I took that little break, I said, well, do a 20, make $20. We'll do another show. That was like a week ago. And I want to thank Barney. I think it was Barney and somebody else who just with their little everyday little tips, we finally got the 20. But that's not why I'm doing the show. I'm doing a show today, and I'll be doing a show tomorrow, and I'll be doing a show on Monday and next week. We're pretty much good for the rest of the month because I got everything cleared out. I'm doing a show today just because, holy crap, is there fun stuff that's got me fired up to talk today. And I hope you will enjoy the ride. There you go. All right. What else? There was something else I wanted to say. What else? Is there anything else? How you guys been? Yeah? Like I'm having a conversation with you. All right, whatever. Yeah, one more time. There you go. Please support the show if you can. That would be great. I'll leave that up. It's too high, isn't it? Yeah, it's too intrusive. I like to scroll down there better. Anybody who's going to will, and that's all we'll do with that. Okay. Let's get into it. The big story, the big thing that's got me all fired up today that I want to talk about is something that I didn't even know was happening last night, but because I basically live online, social media, I am so broken because of my just social media. It's my default setting now. My default setting used to be ESPN or CNN. If I was just like, I got nothing, I would just stare at ESPN or stare at CNN, and then something would happen and I'd go and do that. Now it's social media. Now it's just whatever, in the bathroom, social media, wait and meet somebody in their reception area, social media. Hold on. There's some breaking news in the Koberger, the dude up in Utah. Some breaking news. I'm trying to see what this is. I got distracted. Sweeping gag order lifted in Brian Koberger case. I don't know what that means. You going to talk? What's he going to do, a podcast? How about Radio Misfits, Brian Koberger, the Idaho Killer, with Brian Koberger, now on Radio Misfits. All right. Forgot what I was saying about social media. There was some whole rant that I wanted to do, but who cares? All right, let's get into it. I'm going to start out by talking about the, I know what it was now. Sorry. I should be more dialed in, shouldn't I? I really should. I'm also going to give you a review today of Trainwreck, Balloon Boy. Do you guys watch Netflix's series Trainwreck? People don't even realize it's a series. Like Netflix is trying to do scheduled programming. Netflix produces a weekly documentary series called Trainwreck. It almost always focuses on some media event that got all of our attention for 2 weeks back in 2010, right? And we forgot about it. But what they do is they do a documentary about, hey, here's how that all ended up, because I know you people lost interest after 2 weeks. It's a great series, Trainwreck. Rob Ford, the crack-smoking mayor of Toronto, was featured this year. Some poor girl named Mirka from the Netherlands. She threw a 16th birthday party that 80,000 people attended. That was another episode of Trainwreck this year. That was good. Last Monday, or is it Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday. It debuts Tuesdays. They did Trainwreck Balloon Boy. Do you guys remember Falcon Henny? Oh my God. This is one of my favorite media creature stories of all time. What is a media creature story? A media creature is somebody just like you and me who suddenly finds themselves talking to Larry King or Anderson Cooper because, something that happened in our weird little life has now grabbed the attention of the entire country. We become a media creature. Falcon Henny and his family, the Hennys, captivated the whole country for about 4 hours, 2009. I don't know when this was. Balloon Boy. His dad was trying to get on a reality show. So his dad built a inflatable blimp-like UFO-looking thing in their backyard, and it broke free. And it was flying across the countryside of Colorado, and they reported to the police that little Falcon, the 8-year-old son, was in it. And so all the news cameras in America were tracking this balloon, and we were watching it. And anyway, Balloon Boy, Trainwreck. I'll give you a full review. These people. I got thoughts about these people. If you haven't seen it, you need to. It's great. Mama B with a flash Superman review. She says that she absolutely loved the new Superman. Hearing that a lot. I'm hearing that a lot from good people. You know who I'm hearing that Superman sucks from? Noted assholes. That's right. Noted assholes. If you guys see, you guys know who Mike Francesa is? You can just go look him up. Mike Francesa is a legendary radio sports talk host. So the Fan in New York is where New York City, Mike Francesa. Mike and the Mad Dog, maybe you've heard of them. Chris Russo, the Mad Dog, used to be his partner, but then nobody can work with Francesa because he's the biggest a-hole on the planet. Mike Francesa did a Superman review a couple of days ago that just went viral because it is so funny. Not because he's funny. It's funny because he's such an old man idiot. He's just a dummy. He says, super dog. They didn't have no super dog. They didn't have no super dog when I was a kid. I don't know what they're doing here with the Superman. Super dog. All right, first of all, jackass, it's Crypto. And Crypto was in the black and white TV series back in the 50s, you fuck. So shut up, stupid. Anyway, Mama B says that she loved the new Superman. You want to know why? Because Mama B's a nice person. Decent people who believe in a certain image and idea of America and what we represent to the rest of the world are loving Superman. Assholes like Mike Francesa, they're too distracted by Super Dog. I don't think so. Al says, I'm 56 years old and I've seen every Superman movie. This was the best Superman movie ever. I love it. Love to see it. Hi, Pete. Peter's here. Pete says Pugs is back. Just took a few days off. We're back at it. Crazy time, though. How you like this time? The numbers don't like this time. But I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, ooh. Jeez. But that's okay. It was convenient for me, and I just definitely wanted to come and do this. All right, Superman, it's good. I still haven't seen it with my son. You know what? I think I'm at the point now where I'm forcing my son to lie to me. Wanted to go. My son promised me, because I'm a Superman guy, and he's like a Marvel guy. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand about Superman, kid. You need to see a real Superman movie. And he won't watch the Christopher Reeve stuff because... And this is his excuse. I don't think it's real, but it's his excuse. He won't watch the Christopher Reeve stuff because it's too sad. I'm like, what do you mean it's too sad? He's like, Dad, obviously he's meant a lot to you, and he seems like a really good dude and probably was a great Superman, but I know what happened to him, and that's too sad. I don't want to. So he has never embraced the Superman world with me. In fact, he has been scoreboarding me and end zone dancing all over me since Batman somehow figured out a way to beat Superman, which is absolutely absurd. Remember from that movie a couple of years ago, Batman versus Superman? So he said to me about this movie, he said, I won't see this movie with anybody else. I'll just see it with you. And I was like, ugh. My 16-year-old, I'm like, that is badass. I go, thank you, man. You have no idea how much that means to me. That I'm now going to see a movie that I'm very excited to see, and I'm going to get to see it with you, and you won't have seen it yet, and it'll be just a shared cool experience for us. That was like 4 weeks ago. I still haven't seen it. I know it's only been out for a couple of weeks or whatever. I still haven't seen it, and at some point, I'm pretty sure he's going to go see it with his friends. And he's going to have to lie to me about that. He's gonna. So I'm sorry that I put him in that position. But if he is listening, which he's absolutely not, but if he were to happen to somehow be listening, he's free to go see Superman with somebody else. Man, movies are expensive. Who are we kidding? Okay? Like taking my 16-year-old to see Superman, that's close to $100. It really is. The tickets are like $20 each, or let's say 15, that's 30. Then there's like, popcorn, and it's just crazy. Ugh. We're here in Dallas, so I got to park. I got to park like in a parking structure, and that could cost $10 unless I remember to get it validated, which I never do. Anyway, so we're going to see Superman. I just think it might be a little bit later. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm glad to hear that everybody likes it, or at least the good people are liking it. All right, let's now get into the show. Let's talk about Shane Gillis last night hosting the ESPYs. Didn't even know about it, as I said, because I ended up going online. I was bored, had nothing to do. I went online and I'm like, oh, Shane Gillis is hosting the ESPYs. And last night, there was just nothing but Shane Gillis hosting the ESPYs content. It was amazing, and I was afraid to look at any of this stuff because I like Shane. I don't know him, never met him, nothing like that. But I love his skill. I love his brain. I love the way how do I say it? He played, you know what I want to do? Let's just do this. Let's start right now. This is the big, provocative, controversial Shane Gillis opening set, his monologue, if you will, from last night's ESPY Awards. Again, something that none of us knew about. Let's play it and let's listen to it, okay? Hold on. Where is it? Oh, Jesus, great. Now I don't have it. Don't worry. Don't worry, I got it. I just thought I clipped it. Turns out I didn't freaking clip it. Okay, that's all right. We can do this real quick. I can find it. So how's your day going? Hot, isn't it? Isn't it like shit hot out? It's like 100 and something degrees out there. Still got no air conditioning in here. That ain't fun. But you know what? We'll make it. We'll be fine. All right, where is it? Oh, he also did a bunch of sketches last night. Or I don't know if he did a bunch of sketches. I guess I just saw the one sketch. No. Yep, here we are. Okay, very good. Let me see if I can just... All right. My apology. All right, here we go. Let's see. There we are. All right, this is the, we'll play the full monologue, and I'll interrupt from time to time because I'm hoping that you will have already seen this and heard some of these breaking down. All right, so here we go. Shane Gillis, let's go.
Please welcome your host, Shane Gillis.
Hello. Welcome to the 2025 ESPYs. I'm so excited to be here in front of so many amazing athletes. World champion Freddie Freeman is here. Give it up for Freddie. Yeah. WNBA legend Deanna Taurasi is here. Give it up for her. My bad on that.
All right, we're already off to a bad start. All right. He has already apparently mispronounced the name of a WNBA legend that he's, and she is, of course, not taking it well. This is a great insult to her. I'm sure she's being traumatized and whatever. See, this is the reaction to Shane Gillis that everybody who supports Shane Gillis is loving. He just irritates the easily irritable. He irritates the people who want to be offended so that they can say, he said my name wrong. I'm a WNBA legend. It's that kind of shit, okay? I'm not going to go over the top on this one, but I'm just setting the tone for what we're going to hear here. But again, comics, what's the old saying? Read the room, right? Why do you read the room? Reading the room means, do appropriate content for the people you're performing for. Reading the room is one of the most important things that a skilled comedian learns how to do. Why is Shane Gillis special? Because he don't give a fuck about the room. Shane Gillis has been legendarily walking rooms for years now. When comedians sit around and talk about, great, they don't talk about Chris Rock's HBO special like the rest of us rank amateurs. No, they talk about a time in Cincy in the 2 a.m. hour when, Louis C.K. walked an entire room with jokes about pedophilia. Those are the legendary shit that comics appreciate. Shane Gillis essentially walked the entire ESPN ESPY room. Why is this interesting? Because who are these people? These are some of the most humorless, and he knew this. It's not like he was walking into a warm room. He knew that these 20-something superstar multi-millionaire freaks were egomaniacal drones with zero appreciation for how the world sees them. They are completely narcissistic and ego-driven. And he didn't care. So let's continue.
SGA is here. Give it up for SGA. Hell yeah, bro. And now everybody sitting around him is in foul trouble.
That's a great sports joke. That is a good sports joke.
Megan Rapinoe could not make it tonight. Nice. No, we're going to pretend she's a good time. All right.
All All right, let's break that one down. All right, because this is also terrific. So Megan Rapinoe is a very socially active, high-profile member of a women's gold medal soccer team. Did they win the gold? I don't know what they won. Megan Rapinoe, remember sports bra, taking it off. She became a hero. She was one of those people, and she's probably has the best of intentions and is probably a good person, but it's not about who she actually is. It's who she has come to represent in the eyes of a lot of people. No, well, fuck your feelings, right? Well, whatever. People just don't like her. She seems like she's, she runs her mouth. People don't like her. Normal people do not love Megan Rapinoe. So Shane Gillis gets up there and takes a shot at her. She says the joke is, again, what? That Megan Rapinoe couldn't be here tonight. And then his response to that is nice. All right. Like, that's a good thing. And then everybody does that. And he just looks at the crowd and he's like, yeah, right. You're all going to pretend like she's a good time. He speaks truth to power in a way that very few, Ricky Gervais does, Bill Burr does. Try to think of others who aren't afraid to speak. Chappelle has always been fearless when it comes to speaking truth to power. So the Megan Rapinoe joke. Normal people think that she's, oh God, here she goes again. What's she complaining about now? That is, unfortunately, her brand. It's not her, the person. That's her, the national brand. And he is making fun of that in front of a whole bunch of people who are super programmed to believe that she's like one of the greats. She's just, it's her. It's Jesse Owens. It's Jackie Robinson. It's, she's one of those. And those kinds of people endlessly being shoved down our throats through the likes of Disney or MTV or ESPN, whatever the hell it is. Those narratives being forced down our throats is why Trump is president today. I promise you. People don't give a fuck about the important things. What they care about, and we'll get into this in the distractions. We're going to do a whole segment on the distractions that the White House is throwing out. We'll get into that. Let's continue, all right? Because this is really good stuff. All right, continuing on. More Shane Gillis, brilliant, legendary takedown at the ESPYs last night.
John Jones and Nate Diaz are here. Hell yeah. I had a couple drinks with those guys last night at the hotel, and it was terrifying. Donald Trump wants to stage a UFC fight on the White House lawn. The last time he staged a fight in D.C., Mike Pence almost died. All right. No, you don't have to do that. It was fine. I didn't write it. Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but I guess it got deleted. Must have probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that.
All right, so there you go. That's the famous Epstein joke that... is anybody upset about that? I don't know. People are upset about some other jokes that are coming up, and people are upset about the Megan Rapinoe. I don't know that I've heard anybody be upset about that Epstein joke other than possibly the staunchest Trump supporters. Because the whole premise of this joke is that, as Shane Gillis is telling it, is that we're being lied to, and we're all just so stupid and don't care about anything. We're all just going to move on. That's the joke. The absurdity of thinking this was such an important thing for so long and being told it was an important thing for so long by certain people who are now saying nothing to see here. That's the joke. He's pointing out the social climate of the moment. And he's doing it in a way that's interesting because although he's never been a Trump guy, like people act like he's MAGA. He's not. He's a regular dude. He may have voted for him. I don't know about that. I don't even know if, we know that. I don't know if he's talked about it. Maybe he has. But he's not one of these crazy. He's just a regular guy who, for whatever reason, got tripped up. Whatever. I'm not going to get into it. But let's continue on here. More of Shane Gillis's brilliant monologue from the ESPYs last night.
The New York Knicks had a great season. Hell yeah. Karl Anthony Towns is here. Hey, girl.
Okay. I'm old. I didn't get that. What is two things. I don't get the reference, and like the Hager, is that something that I should connect to, something I should know where that reference is from? And I guess I don't know enough about the NBA or their little gossipy storylines. I don't get that joke at all. So I don't know what to tell you on that. Maybe in the chat room, if you can get that, explain that joke to me.
Max Crosby is here. Max, I hope you had a good Juneteenth, brother.
Okay, I don't get that one either, other than Max Crosby is a white guy. I don't get that one. I don't get that one, so we'll move on. Can't be offended by something that I don't get.
Well, that guy's weird. Four-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players. That's crazy.
All right, this is one we got to stop on. See what he did there? He's shouting out famous athletes in the audience there at the ESPYs, and he shouts out the legendary WNBA player, Brittany Hicks or something. I think he called her a four-time WNBA. Blah blah. Brittany Hicks is here, and then the camera shows her, and then everybody applauds. Oh, she's here. Oh, good. I was hoping she would be here. And he pulls the fucking carpet right out from under these phony people who are just, yes, we know her, WNBA. We know her. Just pulls the carpet right out from under these people and goes, that's my friend's wife. That is not, you people don't know this is all just. Here's why that joke is so great. He exposed the bullshit. He took that entire room, didn't give a fuck about embarrassing them, and exposed the bullshit that we have all been endlessly exposed to for years and years with the powers that be, and the powers that be being the producers of television shows we all tune into, where they have these moments where we're all supposed to be moved emotionally. And some of us are like, what the fuck is this about? That's what he did there. He called bullshit, and he called out all the frauds. You don't know WNBA players. I told you who that was. You believed me. And then you were all, yes, we must support. I know her. It's a genius joke. And it's the kind of joke that a lot of people wouldn't do. Well, first of all, a lot of people wouldn't do it because a lot of people would walk onto this stage in this room and try and win this crowd over. Oh, I just want to do well. I just want them to like me and ask me back. That's not what he did. He walked into this room and he wanted to expose these people. He wanted to talk about the hypocrisy of mainstream high-profile sports, all the bullshit and the canned responses you get from athletes. They're all so robotic and programmed. He knew the audience. He knew that this audience wasn't going to get his middle America, everyman kind of fucking sick of the bullshit attitude. He knew that. And he went anyway. And he crushed.
You clap for that. Simone Biles is here. Yeah, hell yeah. It's not bad. Simone Biles is 4'8" and has 7 gold medals. She's short and has a lot of gold. When she's not competing, she leads a quiet life at the base of a rainbow.
All right, so you got to understand how Gillis works. And a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people will see Gillis. You know, he's done this before, by the way. It has to be mentioned. Remember he did Saturday Night Live? Remember after Shane Gillis absolutely crushed with a legendary Saturday Night Live monologue, everybody was like, Shane Gillis bombed so bad during the monologue. You people are idiots. Bombing in the room is not the same as bombing from coast to coast. The television audience at home watching him call out Saturday Night Live and all of that stuff that people were so upset by and didn't laugh at. People everywhere else watching at home loved that. That is one of the stories they tell about Shane Gillis. Remember when he walked into SNL and just basically laid pipe to everybody? Okay, so that's what he did here again. Bombing in the room. If you're being televised, who the fuck cares that the 300 people in the room didn't like it? There's 300 million listening or watching. Anyway.
The leprechaun joke. If you tell us.
Anyway, he does those kind of corny little jokes peppered into his act so that you almost forgive him when he says something that's a little bit troubling. And by the way, he never says anything troubling. He only says troubling things if you're a slave to your programming. He only says troubling things if you react without thoughtfully giving credence to what he just said. If you are triggered and programmed to react a certain way when you hear specific keywords, yes, you would think, but no.
Mona riddle and she can't answer it. She has to give you all of her gold medals. That was the best one. Joe Rogan actually wanted me to be here to host this award show so that I could capture Adam Silver because Joe thinks he's an alien. And Donald Trump wanted me to be here to capture Juan Soto for the same reason. It's an alien joke. Who booed up there, dude? Shut up.
Oh, good.
Aaron Rodgers did not take the vaccine because he predicted it would be bad for him. And then he joined the New York Jets.
Hey, what's this? Oh, YouTube. You're making a bunch of promotion.
Can I get that burger? It's not time yet.
So maybe he wasn't right about everything. Shedeur Sanders had his jersey number retired at Colorado this year, and people are saying it's because of nepotism, because of his father, and it's not. It's because he went 13-12 over his career, and he almost won the Alamo Bowl.
That is a great joke, especially since Shedeur Sanders is sitting there. It's not nepotism. It's because he went 13-12 and almost won the Alamo Bowl. That is a good Shedeur Sanders joke to his face.
Definitely not nepotism.
There he is.
Right? All right. It's a big year for the WNBA. I love Caitlin Clark. Yeah, hell yeah.
Here we go.
Caitlin Clark, she and I have a lot in common. We're both whites from the Midwest who have nailed a bunch of threes.
That is an A plus joke. That is an A plus joke. We're both white from the Midwest. Nailed a bunch of threes. That's a good joke.
All right. There you go. Lighten up a little. This is not serious. We'll see about this one. When Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most, fist-fighting black women.
That's the joke of the night. That's the joke of the night. And it is, coincidentally, the joke that obviously, not coincidentally, caused the most dust up because he's a racist. That's a racist joke. That's what I saw a lot on Twitter last night. Disney allowing a straight up racist. What was racist about that joke? Let's break it down. Let's see. What is racist about that joke?
This is not serious. We'll see about this one.
He knows it's provocative, but it's not racist.
When Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most.
When Caitlin Clark leaves the WNBA, she is going to go to work at a Waffle House so that she can continue to do the things that she loves most.
Fist-fighting black women.
All right. How is that racist? Caitlin Clark is very well known for having a long-running feud with who's my girl? Angel Reese, for one, right? And a number of other people. She's always getting into it. She's not a problem. People are probably picking on her. I get that. But it's not a lie that she fights a lot of black girls. That is not a lie. And at nowhere in that joke does it suggest that a white person is superior to the black person they're fighting. No, he's just pointing out something that is obvious that we watch on ESPN. Oh, Caitlin Clark got into a shoving match again with somebody else. Oh, Angel Reese taking shots at Caitlin Clark. these are all facts, and he is poking fun at it, but he's riding that line where especially programmed people, you can't, anything that has to do with race or the way white people interact with black people, you can't make a joke about that because that would mean that you as a white person are being racist. Well, that's bullshit. That is absolutely bullshit. I say this all the time. You can have, there's a difference between being racist and being racial. I like to think of myself as very racial. I am fascinated and curious by all kinds of things that are different from my lily white, Irish, Catholic, Midwestern raised, middle-aged man ass. I love it. When I see people who are obviously not Irish, Catholic, middle-aged, I always ask, I talk to them about it. It's not about, well, you are obviously less than me, so I'm now going to sit here and inquire. Curiosity, man. Curiosity is how we as people get to know each other. It's how we become friends, right? So, all right. Caitlin Clark gonna go to Waffle House and fight black chicks. That is a funny joke.
Yeah, hell yeah. Who yelled? Drewski? Thank you, bro. Oh, John Jones? Yeah. What are you, nut jobs over there? Hell yeah. Shohei Ohtani couldn't make it tonight. Man, I hope his interpreter didn't bet that he was going to be here. Shohei is a once-in-a-generation talent. No one's been able to do what he does at so many positions, pitcher, hitter, and bookie.
Oh.
A bookie is what Bill Belichick reads to his girlfriend before bedtime.
Oh! Nice.
They do. They read The Very Horny Caterpillar, The Little Engine That Could But Needed a Pill First, and of course, the classic Goodnight Boobs. That was my favorite one. Also, I'm not trashing Bill Belichick. First off, he's 73 years old and he's dating a hot 24-year-old and people are criticizing him? What happened to this country?
Exactly.
It used to be a great country. He won 6 Super Bowls. Yeah. He's dating a hot 24-year-old. Maybe if you guys won 6 Super Bowls, you wouldn't be sitting next to a fat, ugly dog wife. They let me do it. I don't. This is Disney. They allowed that. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a story. I was at we should have taken that out. I had doubts going into that. That didn't work.
By the way, it should also be pointed out that I saw a lot of people who are obviously unfamiliar with Shane Gillis and how he works. A lot of people were pointing out that, well, he was obviously not prepared. There were a number of times in his act where he questioned the material, or the worst thing a comic can do, laugh at his own jokes. I think he's got to clean that up before we start talking about him being this great comedian. I heard that out of the mouth of a sports talk host from Detroit this morning. Oh, we're going to listen to some people across the country and how they've responded to that. A white sports talk host made that idiotic observation after watching him last night. Anybody who would say that about Shane Gillis obviously has never seen his act before. That is not a glitch of his act. That is a feature. That is the cornerstone. His entire energy on stage is that he's going to say some stuff and he thinks he might get in trouble for it and he's not sure about it. That's the fucking bit, you people. So when he says, well, it's okay, I didn't write that, that's not him breaking character. That is the character. That is who he is. And it's always been that way. He laughs at his own jokes. Why? Because a lot of times they're uncomfortable and they're thinkers. And if he's laughing, then you're thinking about it, and then you'll catch up. You will catch up to the punchline. He's brilliant. He knows what he's doing. And he knows what he's doing to such an extent that there are some people out there unfamiliar with him who think that he looks like a rank amateur.
All week. Actually, it was a good year for me in sports. I went to Notre Dame, went to the national title. I was at go Irish. I was at the Eagles game, the Super Bowl when they won, and it was not, go Birds. Go Birds. Yeah. But I was down there. I'm just gonna tell you a story real quick. It's not a good joke. It was halftime of the game, and we looked up, and you could see Donald Trump. He was sitting in the suite, like at the 50-yard line. You couldn't see him, but you could see like his silhouette. You know what I mean? He was just.
So wait a second. So before he tells this story, because I think this is a fun story, And that's another part of what he is so great at. Not only is he a very skilled and important, I believe, stand-up comedian, but he is an incredibly gifted conversationalist. His chemistry with people when he's doing podcasts or when he's talking to, he knows how to have a conversation and tell a story. Also, brilliant sketch writer, brilliant sketch performer. If you've ever seen the Gillian Keeves stuff, that's how I first came to know him. Before he had the Saturday Night Live situation, it was him doing those Gillian Keeves sketches on YouTube, the stuff that actually got him to Saturday Night Live, briefly, until he was fired. Anyway.
From local shops in Portland, Maine, to national garages in Portland, Oregon, Napa and our nationwide network of parts and exceptional service are here to keep your business moving.
They sure as fuck are. They're going to make us watch that whole commercial.
Also, can we stop?
So anyway, my point on this is, so now here he's going to tell a story. And I think it's a true story. It sounds like a true story because I tell stories and I take things that happen in my real life and then I spin them into a story that you can tell here. So I see what he's doing here. And so basically what I'm saying is this is probably true. At least the core elements of it are true. He has grown some comedy in the story, but he's about to tell you a story about being at the Super Bowl or the national championship game or something and how he had an encounter with Donald Trump. And I want to say before we listen to this, he is considered a Trump comic. Like there are people who will never listen to anything that he says because they heard that he's one of those Trump guys like Joe Rogan or what, they're just completely in the dark about what he is. So here he is doing a Trump story. So you would expect that he's a Trump guy, that, it's going to be a certain way and it's going to probably be, he's so cool and he's so fun. Just listen to this story. This is how all of his Trump stories are. And I fail to see in these stories where it's so completely obvious that Shane Gillis is a MAGA retard. I don't see it. But yet you see people online and stuff saying that, well, and then he had to praise Trump at the end. Listen to this story. This is not the praising of Trump. This is a story about a comedian who got to meet the president of the United States. That's what it is.
Pretending Donald Trump knows ball. Silhouette. He was just...
Sorry.
Yeah. But I was down there. It was not, go Birds. Yeah, go Birds. Yeah. But I was down there. I'm just going to tell you a story real quick. It's not a good joke. I was, it was halftime of the game, and we looked up, and you could see Donald Trump. He was sitting in the suite, like at the 50-yard line. You couldn't see him, but you could see like his silhouette. He was just... Also, can we stop pretending Donald Trump knows ball? It's like a weird thing where they're like, man, he loves sport. He doesn't know anything about sports. Every time a team comes and visits the White House, he's like, and you must be the guy who catches. It's like, look at these guys, big guys, black guys. And that's just when the New York Liberty visited.
Oh!
They didn't visit. That's just a joke. But it was halftime, and we looked up and we saw Trump. I was with my buddy, and I was like, we should just sneak up there and try to meet him. And we did. We got into his suite, which turns out it's pretty easy to get access to Donald Trump, which is probably why he keeps getting shot all the time. We just got right in there. But we're in there. He doesn't know who I am, but there's a line of people, and he's just shaking hands with everybody. And I was at the end of the line. But also, I took a picture with him, and I posted it, and people got upset about that. What the hell? He's the president. If Osama bin Laden was in the suite, I would have been like, yeah, you're crazy. All right. But he's shaking hands with everybody, and it's very funny. Trump does this thing whenever he meets somebody for the...
What kind of a poisoned, broke brain wouldn't take a picture if they encountered the president of the United States? I would take a picture with Trump. I would get in line to take a picture with Trump. He's the president of the United States. He's a historical figure.
First time, even if he doesn't know me. He's shaking hands with everybody, and it's very funny. Trump does this thing whenever he meets somebody for the first time, even if he doesn't know me. He gives them like a crazy compliment. It's kind of nice. Like he got to the guy next to me and he was like, look at you, you're beautiful. And then he got to me and he was like, look at you, you're huge. I was like, thank you, Mr. President. But he shook my hand, he stood next to me, So I'm just, I was at the end of the line, so there's no one else for him to shake hands with. So he's just standing next. I got to hear him breathe for like a minute, just standing next to me, just. And then his daughter, Ivanka, walked over to us, which, by the way, so hot. She walked over, and it was halftime of the Super Bowl. I was hammered. I was like, hello. Your dad just said I was huge. So now it's me, Trump, and Ivanka. They're not talking to me, obviously, but I can overhear what they're saying. And Trump goes, Ivanka, how would you like to meet the president of soccer? And sure enough, the president of FIFA soccer was also in the suite with us. He was getting like nachos. And Donald Trump just looks at him and goes, ew. And the guy put his plate down and walked straight to us. And then Donald Trump didn't even look at him. He just kept talking to his daughter, and he goes, this is the president of soccer. And they gave us the World Cup, and they did that because of me. And then he walked out of the room. It was just me and the president of FIFA looking at each other like, that was crazy. All right, that was a dumb thing to say. It was crazy. That was crazy, being in that room. It's crazy to be in this room with so many legends. You guys are awesome. Oscar Robertson, that's awesome. Sugar Ray Leonard's here. Hell yeah. Sugar Ray, you're the man, but in 10 years, Jake Paul is going to try to knock you out, so take it easy. There's one thing I want to say before I get out of here, and this is a dumb joke. You guys aren't going to like it, but it's just a Norm Macdonald joke that I loved when he hosted the ESPYs, and I'm going to do it now. Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy this year. He's the first defensive player since Charles.
All right, that's it. All right. All right, so that was it. That was the hype. By the way, the Norm Macdonald joke there. That was the provocative and much discussed Shane Gillis monologue from last night's ESPYs. I thought it was brilliant. I didn't think there was anything wrong with any of that. I think that, as I say, if you are somebody who is easily triggered by a lifetime of programming that has sort of gotten you right on that hair trigger, baby, of just going off over something that you assume that you should be offended by. If you're that person, you probably did not enjoy that. However, if you were somebody who sits in the middle and has been watching the idiots on the right and the idiots on the left kind of go nuts, you saw that last night as some sort of an angel's call that, you know what, all is not lost, that there still is influencers who are kind of like just normal people. And that's what we got last night. We got some guy who's right in the middle. Shane Gillis is not political. He's socially aware. And more importantly, in my opinion, he represents a voice and an attitude in this country that hasn't been heard in forever. The smart, working class dude who never benefited from the supposed advantages that he's been granted simply for being born Caucasian in this country. That's who he represents. Shane Gillis represents the fed up, silenced, middle American dude who is tired of watching the nonsense on both sides. What is his secret sauce? He's not angry about any of it. That's what it is. So what makes him different, right? He's pointing all of these things out, these observations about how screwed up people seem to be seeing the world these days. He's pointing all of this stuff out without anger. He's not ranting. You know, he's not one of these. He's not me, like me, right? Like maybe if I could change my rant to more humor, that I might have something. But when I do that, when I rant about this shit that I can't believe I'm seeing anymore, there is real anger and upset behind it. Not with Shane Gillis. He has figured out how to have that same emotional volcanic response, but instead of having it be him being rageful, he's joking. He's your buddy at the bar who makes everybody laugh. That's who he is. He knows he's powerless over all of these things that frustrate him, right? Anybody hitting the Twitter with, here's what we ought to do. Those people don't know they're powerless. I know I'm powerless. Most of us in the middle, that's why it's so frustrating, because we see the people on the right and the people on the left pretending like they have any say in all of this. We saw it. The rise of MAGA. We finally did it. We've got someone in charge, and he's going to finally do all the things that we want. And guess what? No, same old, same old. That's the secret sauce to Shane Gillis. He's just presenting all the things that frustrate all of us, except he's not doing it as an angry guy. He's doing it as a guy that goes, hey, that sucks. Can't do anything about it. Oh, well, let's have another beer. He makes fun of it all. Excuse me. Oh, also, he plays the guy who, far lefties probably assume is a racist, because look at him. He's from the middle of the country. He's heavy set. He's white. He's in his 40. How old is he? 40 yet? Is he somewhere in there? He checks all of the boxes for if you are programmed to hate people, just like there's a lot of people on the left programmed to hate anyone they see in a red hat. There's people on the right programmed to hate, anybody that they think is Antifa or whatever, even remotely on the left. He plays the guy who people think they're supposed to hate, except they find out that really what this is it's not racial humor, it's social situational humor that he is so good at. Oh, and we saw this here. It's a lot of people on Twitter today. He's a racist. He's a racist. He's a racist. They saw his best friend. He was best man at their wedding. He is godfather, Shane Gillis. He is godfather to their children. He pointed out last night, his best friend is married to a black woman. He put her on camera. Remember, that was the woman that he pretended was the WNBA legend? Yeah. So, look, how racist can he really be? It's not like he's out there burning crosses. Okay? He's just a white guy. It's a white guy. He's got a best friend who he's known for like 30 years or something. That best friend married a black girl. He was the best man. Racist? Bullshit. He's a normal dude. He'll probably give anybody a chance, just like the rest of us normal people. All right, so here's what I wanted to do. I saw online that there is definitely a divide. The right, for the most part, seems to be praising Shane. This is online. This is social media. This is Twitter. The right is praising him. Woke sports was killed last night. And I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up, dumbass. And then on the left, you're like, I can't believe that level of racist vitriol was allowed on a Disney-owned property. Well, you had that, right? So those were the two. That's it. That was the echo chambers. Nothing in the middle, except for me. I think Barney and Jeff, and I think we were all talking about it last night. No, very few in the middle. It's all polarizing. You're either on this side or you're on that side. So I thought, could this be true? Or is this what they talk about, the bubble of social media, where what's happening on social media is not at all representative of the way people on the streets feel? So what I did was I woke up this morning and I knew that there would be radio stations all around the country talking about the Shane Gillis performance. So I thought, why don't I sample some of these? Why don't I go around the country and I'll listen to a couple of different rando radio shows and I'll see how they felt about it. And I'll tell you, I discovered something very funny. All the white guy stations, especially major market. I mentioned the Detroit station, the fan in, it's a ticket in Detroit. I think it's a ticket in Detroit. All the white guy traditional mainstream morning shows, they were all a little bit uncomfortable with this story. They were all like, well, I don't know. Like most of it was, there was very few radio. I'm talking about terrestrial radio. There are very few radio people who were really singing the praises the way I am, for example. They were all very sort of, it was good. I didn't get that one. I told you about the guy in Detroit I was listening to who said, well, this guy isn't very professional. He seems rather amateurish. He laughs at his own joke. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, you don't get it. They were uncomfortable talking about it. They were uncomfortable talking about why it was so funny. So I thought, man, that's interesting. Let me listen to urban radio around the country, because it seems to me that we're all supposed to be, of the belief that, he just insulted all of these black women with the Waffle House joke and, he's a racist. So here, let's listen to this. I started out, I'll give you 2 examples from urban radio around the country. I just chose 2 of the biggest shows. I chose, of course, Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club out of New York City. That is probably the most influential urban morning talk show. And urban or not, I think it's probably the best morning show in America, at least the best national morning show in America. The show's great. They're funny. They're cool. They got great guests. You know, I'm a white guy. I like to feel a little hip every now and again. That show does it for me. The Breakfast Club. So let's give a listen to them. Let's see. Here it is. We got to join them. Where are we at? Is this the Breakfast Club? Yeah, it is. They're going to make popular commercial. All right. Let's listen here.
In the design.
All right, once again, we're going to listen to how the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne, and maybe you've heard me talk about him before. I'm a great admirer of his. Charlemagne is the host. It's an incredibly, I love this morning show. But here they are. This is how they handled. Remember, Black America is outraged that Disney allowed Shane Gillis. So let's hear from one of the most influential urban radio stations or radio shows in America. We got to fast forward just a little bit here.
Things as big Diddy was being targeted. You know, computer, they're going to have. Somebody's about to say something. ESPYs. So Epstein, very crazy. Somebody's about to say something. Back yet, but I will keep you guys up to date on that because that's a big question that people have right now.
It is crazy.
Yeah, but go ahead. Somebody's about to say something. Okay. Speaking of Epstein, very crazy segue.
Oh, by the way, you should know Charlemagne himself is not on camera today. You only hear his voice. Apparently he's on vacation or whatever. He doesn't have but he's on a microphone. So you hear him. You just do not see Charlemagne.
That brings us to the ESPYs. So last night the ESPYs went down.
Excuse me.
Just listen. I got the
that's
segue.
A crazy segue.
It's going to make sense. So last night the ESPYs went down. Shane Gillis hosted, and he had a few jokes while on stage that the people were really not feeling. One of the jokes that he actually performed was about Epstein. Let's take a listen.
Donald Trump wants to stage a UFC fight on the White House lawn. The last time he staged a fight in D.C., Mike Pence almost died. All right. You don't have to do that.
Hilarious.
It was fine. I didn't write it.
Hilarious.
Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but as it got deleted. Must have probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed.
Hilarious.
Actually, let's move on as a country and ignore that.
I chuckled.
Hilarious.
That's funny.
Wait.
Drop one of the clues bombs for Shane Gillis. Hilarious.
Yeah. I chuckled.
No, listen.
All right, so Charlemagne, the leader of the show, he's on record. You hear him. He's saying hilarious, hilarious, hilarious.
To this one. So then this is in his opening monologue. He then gets into Caitlin Clark and Shador Saunders. Let's take a listen.
Now, this is the one that, especially these ladies in this room, the ladies in this room should be outraged, just like all the other black ladies, or are they bots, on Twitter that tried to get everybody ginned up.
Shador Sanders had his jersey number retired at Colorado this year, and people are saying it's because of nepotism, because of his father, and it's not. It's because he went 13-12 over his career, and he almost won the Alamo Bowl. Definitely not nepotism, right? All right. It's a big year for the WNBA. I love Caitlin Clark. Yeah, hell yeah. Caitlin Clark, she and I have a lot in common. We're both whites from the Midwest who have nailed a bunch of threes. Wow. There you go. Lighten up a little. We'll see about this one. When Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most, fist-fighting black women.
Wow. Hilarious.
Okay.
Wow. I don't care what y'all say. That's hilarious.
Okay. Do you see how offended this room of highly influential and successful members of black urban media? Did you see this reality? I can't believe that he said that. I mean, this is proof of for me, this is proof of the disconnect between what we see on Twitter and what actually happens in the real world. Everybody on Twitter is fake. They're all bots designed to create a character that we think represents certain worldview. And when they say something, we react to those bots. Nobody's offended by that Caitlin Clark joke. It's a great joke. It's a funny joke, and nobody is hurt by it.
Okay.
Wow.
Right.
Yes.
So you gotta. I mean, if you don't know Shane Gillis and you don't know his delivery, you don't know the dry sense of humor. You might not get it. But I mean, I guess because I watch Shane Gillis, I get it. I thought.
Look at that, Charlemagne admitting that he likes Shane Gillis. Oh, but that's not how it's supposed to be. Charlemagne is a black influential talk show host. He is supposed to hate Shane Gillis because Twitter told us that he's a racist who didn't get on Saturday Night Live for being racist and his jokes are racist. That's what Twitter tells us. This is the real world. These are what real people think.
That was funny.
Hilarious to me.
Mm-hmm. The Epstein joke was hilarious.
Yes. So that took place last. Go ahead. Somebody say something. It sounds like y'all. Maybe the feedback is late.
Probably.
You need to stop drinking in the morning.
I didn't drink a thing. What are you talking about? I'm trying to make sure I get it. I didn't drink anything. What? She did. So the ESPYs went down yesterday in LA. And outside of the jokes that went down, people, they got awarded for some pretty big things. So I want to make sure that we mention Simone Biles won an ESPY for Best Athlete. And
nobody cares.
There with the athlete. That's men and women's sports. There was one more joke too as we close out. I thought this one was funny as well. Shane
thought this one was funny as well. If I showed this woman's picture to any average MAGA red hat dude, and I said, how do you think she reacted to Shane Gillis's jokes? You know what the programmed reaction would be. Oh, I bet she hated it. I bet she's anti. No. Stop thinking that what's happening in Twitter circles or Facebook or wherever, stop thinking that that is representative of the real world. It's just not.
Gillis on Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy this year. He's the first defensive player since Charles Woodson to win the Heisman. Congratulations, Travis Hunter, winning the Heisman. That's something they can never take away from you, unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case they can take that away from you.
Did y'all get the joke?
No.
Of course. OJ joke. OJ.
Oh.
If you kill your wife and
a wife and a waiter, that's a little nigga take it away.
Yo,
I chuckled with that one. I caught that immediately.
I thought he was so good, but y'all know how people get.
I caught that immediately. Listen to the gay.
Pause.
And
you
she's funny. That chicken, well, I don't know how familiar you are with the show. She's like, I caught that immediately. Listen to the gay dude. Listen to him. Now they're just going to pound what the gay, this guy takes a lot of shit on the show.
That's the problem.
Listen,
That's
listen
the problem.
to it. He couldn't wait. Like, he wanted to be the first one.
You just,
so bad.
Envy just answered whether he's a pitcher or a catcher. Caught that one immediately.
Do you, boo-boo? We ain't mad at you.
Right away.
Ain't catching nothing else. Lock it, boo.
Clock it. Y'all got gay ears. Y'all got gay ears this way.
Urban Morning Radio just making fun of their gay coworker. Just, you know why? Because nobody can touch Urban Radio. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
My pointy finger or my middle finger?
Don't act like you don't know what finger.
I don't. What finger?
You see,
What, the prostate exam?
You know what? Forget it.
What you mean?
Yes. Oh my God.
I don't know
The
what finger
fingers-
you use for a prostate exam. This guy's crazy. This
Wow.
guy is soliciting prostate exams on the radio. You a wild boy, man. You said, which finger do I use? God damn.
I was talking about clocking it, man. Pause.
All right, there you go. So obviously, the nation's most influential urban morning talk show doesn't seem to have a problem at all with Shane Gillis. Let's go on a local level. Let's check in real quick with Hot 97 in Atlanta, which is another one of the major influencers in American urban radio. Oh, we don't need that. Let's see what these guys are getting into. They make me watch all the commercials, Hulu, really? Until I pay your $9 a month or whatever. All right, here we go. Hot 97 in Atlanta.
The awards went down last night live from Los Angeles. Shane Gillis was the comedian and host. And he touched on a bunch of topics like Aaron Rodgers and his vaccine skepticism. He just went through it all. But people were divided on, did he go too far? Now, here's a couple of...
Again, I don't think people are actually divided. I think Twitter attempted to divide us again, because that's what it does.
Of jokes. This is one where he was getting at Caitlin Clark, and people felt it was
a big year for the WNBA. I love Caitlin Clark. Yeah, hell yeah. Caitlin Clark, she and I have a lot in common. We're both whites from the Midwest who have nailed a bunch of threes.
That's pretty good.
This is not serious. We'll see about this one. When Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most, fist fighting black women.
Wow.
Yeah.
That particular joke had people very divided.
Well, you know why? Because it is what is known as an offensive joke.
Right.
And thus you might have been offended. That's why. Listen, I know what the ESPYs was trying to do by hiring this dude. The ESPYs has turned into a tear fest where all you do is tune in and watch these heartwarming stories and cry all night.
It's so true, Ibra.
That's all you do. You do a little league story over a beaten.
He's right. He's speaking about that manipulative media, mainstream nonsense that we get before, during award shows or even in the Olympics. We're going to take you to this guy's hometown and we're going to show you how he was born without a head. Shit like that. They're constantly trying to manipulate us. So it was kind of a change of pace to have someone like Shane Gillis. I didn't see the whole show, so I don't know if they did any of that bullshit. But if you listen to me with any regularity, I always get excited when Saturday Night Live has certain hosts because those certain hosts take over the writer's room and the show has a completely different tone. Gillis is one of those people. I imagine that Gillis and his writing crew took over ESPN's ESPY writing process, and we probably did not have a whole lot of that nonsense, that overly sappy, manipulative, emotional garbage that they usually shove down our throats.
Cancer story, some kid who is just crying all night, and I love it.
The few times I've tuned in, it's definitely...
No, that's what it is. So they was like, you know what, we got to shake this thing up. Didn't they have, like, the Ball Brothers perform or something?
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, Jello. Wasn't Jello?
No, I thought Lonzo jumped up there with him.
Oh, yeah?
No,
I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch the performance, so I don't know. But wow.
So yeah, they was trying to shake things up, and they got people talking. Yo,
you're like, chill with the tears. Let's offend a few.
Yeah, let's offend a few people and get these people talking about something else. We'll do the tears still because there's some amazing, heartwarming stories. But the joke, me and Caitlin Clark got a lot in common. We're both from the Midwest, and we nailed a bunch of threes. It's fire. That's a fire joke.
That's pretty dope.
And I like the Waffle House joke, too. I ain't going to hold you.
Admit it. Admit it.
That's your Flash and Lights report.
All right, there you have it. All right. So no matter what you're being told, we checked in with a couple of major American urban radio morning shows to see what they had to think about Shane Gillis last night on the ESPYs. All right, let's move on. Topic 2. Here we go. It's gonna be, I told you, I promised you it was going to be a good show today, a big show anyway. We're going to get into a lot of stuff. To remind you, please support the show if you can. The show runs on your gratuities if you're so inclined. All right, let's get into this MAGA civil war that we're hearing about. I don't do politics per se. Like I think Carrie, I've never, I don't endorse anybody. I'm not like, what I do is I sit here like somebody who doesn't give a fuck about politics, and I just opine on what it is that I'm seeing and try to react naturally. Well, I got to tell you, there is a real MAGA civil war going on. There is within MAGA, which is funny as hell to me. Because a lot of these people have always struck me, especially the influencers. They've always struck me as being highly suspect. They've always struck me as people who are like, oh, Megyn Kelly is a good one. What happened to her? What? Who's paying you? Anyway, we'll digress. The point is this. Ever since Trump, all right, let's make it fair. Ever since Pam Biondi came out and, Kash Patel and Bongino and all them, and they're like, nothing to see here with the Epstein files. And Trump, obviously it seems like this comes from Trump. Let's not be stupid. These people are not doing anything that he doesn't want done. He's been trying to get us to stop talking about the Epstein thing, which I'm fine with. Look, I would like to see the list, but the Epstein situation, the Epstein scandal, the Epstein, whatever this is, it has never been a big player in my life. It hasn't. It was like, it's something that I'm like, yeah, the world's a rough place, man. There's a whole bunch of horrible stories concerning people and, the terrible things that they've done to children and how they've gotten away. The world is filled with those kind of stories. So I have never seen the Epstein story to be particularly unique in any of those regards. Other than this story was used specifically by a political party, the MAGA wing of the Republican Party, as sort of a way to stoke everybody up. The promises that were made, it's all very accusatory. Epstein and, the Democrats. So it became very political, all right? So now those people who ran on basically exposing all and emptying the deep state and, revealing all the secrets, that party is now in power, and they're like, we were wrong about that one. Go figure. Now, whether or not you believe that it's because Donald Trump is all over the Epstein list, as I do, he's all over it. Please. If you believe as I do that that's the case, then this all makes sense. It's not going to release anything. And by the way, at this point, whatever gets released, I don't know what's real and what's not. I have no idea what to believe. All I believe, and this is what I will take to my grave, regardless of anything that comes out in the future, I will take to my grave that Donald Trump was involved somehow in this whole Epstein thing because of the way he fucked this up. He fucked it up and he made himself look guilty as sin. For years, we've seen the pictures of him and Epstein and all that, and that could easily have been explained away. I myself have even made the excuse for President Trump when people try to say that those are proof that he's a pedophile. I've said, what? President Trump was a Manhattan financial baller. Jeffrey Epstein was a Manhattan financial baller. These two dudes worked and operated in the same orbit for probably 40 years. You don't think that they talked? You don't think that they knew each other? It doesn't mean at all when two guys with the money that Trump and Epstein have, when those two guys come together and are at a party and are photographed together, it doesn't mean they're best friends. Although I do think that they were closer than Trump would like us to believe. But the point is this, it doesn't prove that he's a pedophile. That's what I've said for years. Doesn't prove anything. He's friends with him, though. That's my whole thing. Oh, no, he's friends with him. He was friends with a pedophile, and he really seemed to like him. He talked about him in the New Yorker back in 2000, said that he liked little girls. Said that. Trump said that and laughed at it. So I don't know that indicts Trump himself for the same crime. I don't think it does at all. It just shows that, people know each other. I also defend anybody that might end up on the plane. The flight logs of the Lolita Express, it had all of these people on it. Well, I understand that within that 1%er community, it is common to just jump on some stranger's private jet. Those people don't fly public or commercial, I guess it's called. No, if you're a super rich guy and you're hanging out with other super rich people and you're in Manhattan on a Sunday and, you're at this great garden party in the Hamptons and somebody says, hey, so when are you heading back to the coast? And you say, I'm going to catch a flight tomorrow. And then it's very common for people to be like, why don't you just jump on my plane? That's a normal thing in that set. But unfortunately, we, the regular people, we don't know that. We think that he was on his plane. Why? He would probably not have anybody on his plane that he wasn't engaging in underage sex with. So obviously, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, whoever, they're all pedophiles. No. But I do believe that there's a whole bunch of names of people like the CEO of, Wilson's butter conglomerate. There's a lot of people like that. I think that there are probably people who engaged in this kind of shit with Jeffrey Epstein over the years. He wasn't doing it alone. He didn't have a 1-bedroom hut on Lolita Island. He had guests there. And they weren't all underage girls. So there are people involved. I just don't know that the list, when we see it, it's going to be names that are really going to, And any of the names that have been already mentioned, as I said, the Clintons and the Trumps and all that stuff, it doesn't prove anything other than politicians and people of that ilk often use fellow rich people for transportation. And politicians, a billionaire like Epstein, a politician, a billionaire says, why don't you hop on my jet? You're hopping on that jet because politicians do whatever the fuck billionaires want them to do because politicians are owned by billionaires. So that has always kind of been my feeling on the Epstein stuff. But again, Trump screwed it up. Trump completely mishandled it. He could have done a much better job. And instead, because he's tired of this nonsense, he did what Trump does, which is when daddy is tired of the kids bickering, he basically tells everybody to go to bed. And that's what Trump did a couple of weeks ago. Go to bed. I don't know why you idiots are still. And he's getting madder and he's getting madder. He has lost large portions of his network of influencers. Turned on him. I think I posted yesterday something like he's lost cool guy MAGA, right? He's lost the Theo Vaughns. He's lost the Joe Rogans. He's lost, apparently Shane Gillis at the ESPYs last night. We should probably all just move on, right? He's lost cool guy MAGA. People who are responsible for God knows how many young other wannabe cool guys, Rogan listeners, people who watch Theo Vaughn, that kind of stuff. Excuse me. He's lost them, right? All right, so they've turned on him. They're all like, this, you fucking handled that wrong. Who else did he like? He's lost the funny people. He's lost the cool guys. You know who he's still got, though? He's still got like I think I called him, what did I call him on Twitter yesterday? He's still got 40-year-old virgin MAGA. 40-year-old virgin MAGA. Dinesh D'Souza. Okay, do you know this guy? The unfuckables, the absolute dorks of MAGA. And by the way, there is a difference. Like you get like your Dinesh D'Souza's, right? Your Charlie Kirks, the dorks, like the people you're like, oh my God, that dude's a nerd. The dorks of MAGA are still holding strong. Although I think Charlie Kirk might have turned too. I don't know. Whatever. My point is this. There is definitely a difference between dork MAGA virgin influencers like Dinesh D'Souza, who nobody is really following because we think that they have, the right path. And you've got cool MAGA, you got Joe Rogan and the Dude Bros, and everybody, your little sister's boyfriend in college. He loves Joe Rogan, those guys. Yes, they're among the stupidest people that we know. People who love Rogan. They're like dumb guys who like think, but they're still a more desirable demographic to be in kind with than, say, the Dinesh D'Souza weirdos, right? So that's all Trump's got left. There's a flat-out MAGA war. And now what has the response been from the White House? Has it been to sort of try and tamp this down and bring your... No, it has been to lash out at those who break ranks. Loyalty. Remember, loyalty is very important to Trump no matter what. So he's very angry at some of these groups. So also, in order to change the subject, because remember, he doesn't believe that any of us should still be interested in the Epstein story. Why would anyone be interested in that? I don't know, dude. You ran for like 6 years on a platform of the Democrats being involved with this, and it's why a lot of idiots trusted you. They thought that was the most important thing that the president should get into. Morons. And that's why they're mad, Mr. President. They're angry at you because you are obviously what I've been saying since the 90s. You are a con man, sir. You are a salesman. You are just the latest in a long line of big city Manhattan hucksters who came down to rural America and showed everybody and sold everybody a magic potion. That's what you are. You sold the Alabama folk a magic potion and you're president of the United States. And now they're like, this magic potion doesn't work. And you're like, ha ha, suckers. It's not the first time this has happened. All right. That's what I've always seen this as. Some of you, not anybody who listens to this show, because none of you are that stupid. Some of you, he's God, he's Jesus, he was sent by. Oh my God, you people are on a list. Just so you know, when we get through all of this, when we get, 20 years from now, we're still going to have a list of you people who are going around going, Trump is Jesus, he was sent from the Lord. You people are on a list. We're watching you. So what are some of the things that the White House has tried to do to get us to not ask about the Epstein thing? All right, list of distractions. Here we go. First of all, we have breaking news today. There's a couple of distractions that the White House threw out today in desperate hopes that we'll stop asking about Epstein. First and foremost, apparently, Trump suffers from chronic penis insufficiency. I don't know. I've never heard of this disease before. Chronic penis insufficiency, chronic venous. I'm sorry. CVI is a condition where blood doesn't efficiently return. Anyway, they announced that the reason that, he poops his pants and has giant calves is because he's got, chronic venous insufficiency. So talk about that, not Epstein. Talk about his face. Talk about Trump's cankles for a couple of days. Can we do that? No one cares. No one's biting on that. And by the way, that's just the latest one. And there's a couple of other ones today that they threw out there. But there's a couple that go all the way back. I mean, we hit the ground running with Gulf of America. Remember that one? Gulf of America. That's so stupid. No one is ever that is not gonna stick. He had the big stupid parade. Remember the big stupid distraction parade from like a couple of months ago? Coincided with his birthday. That was just a coincidence. Nobody went to it, nobody covered it, and nobody fucking talks about his big stupid parade. All right. Just this week alone, what do we had? We've had Comey and Brennan be in charge. Remember that distraction? The Trump Department of Justice has decided that they are going to open an investigation in charge. Former FBI Director James Comey and CIA Director. Oh, shut up. Nobody cared about that either. Especially since, like, the next morning, both Comey and Brennan were all over TV going, yeah, we don't know anything about this. Our lawyers haven't contacted us. We don't. So there you go. Another distraction that failed. Also this week, we're going to deport Rosie O'Donnell. Remember that? That's something the President of the United States should have right there on his plate. Fuck! What? Deport Rosie O'Donnell? The fuck, man? Distraction palooza is what we're going on. All right, here's a couple more that he did. This week, he claimed that Obama wrote the Epstein files that he also says don't exist. But if they do somehow turn out to exist, he floated that he just wants everybody to know that Obama wrote it. He told a magnificently detailed story. Yesterday, was it? Or Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. Magnificent details. It was just kind of sweet. He's telling a story about, he's proud of his family. Trump told a detailed story about his uncle teaching the Unabomber at MIT. He was in front of, I think this was in Pennsylvania. He was speaking to a group of Pennsylvania tech people or whatever. So, of course, he started bragging about his family. He went on to talk about how his uncle John Trump was like the greatest MIT professor in the history of the world. And he's my uncle. And, he taught the Unabomber there. And he had some like little asides about, like, he was bullshitting. He was fucking lying. Now, I don't even know that his uncle John Trump was an important professor. Maybe he was. I don't know if he was as great as Trump made it out to seem. But what everybody did know, and he was met with an avalanche of people going, hey, Donald, the Unabomber didn't go to MIT. The Unabomber went to Harvard and then California Institute of Technology. So this whole magnificently detailed story that the President of the United States told about his uncle teaching the Unabomber and how his uncle told him stories about the Unabomber, which would be weird because the Unabomber wasn't famous then, okay? There would have been no reason for back in 1980 something for Uncle John Trump to say to Donald, let me tell you about the Unabomber, my student. The Unabomber wouldn't be known for another 30 years. Fuck this guy. Whatever. He just lies and he lies and he lies. What else do we got? Okay, a couple of more fun ones that have come up over the last couple of days. He's putting real sugar cane back in Coca-Cola. Hey, stop asking about Epstein. I'm giving you real fully leaded Coca-Cola. So this is a funny story. He made that announcement yesterday where he said Coca-Cola has agreed to replace their high fructose corn syrup and go back to the pre-1982 formula, which used real cane sugar. Coca-Cola has responded to that saying, we appreciate the president with the suggestion, but basically Coca-Cola has not announced this. Trump said they did. Trump said he convinced them to do it yesterday because he wants you to, what will the fat pigs get excited about? He probably asked. And then Stephen Miller shouted, I don't know. Tell them you're going to put sugar cane back in. Tell them Mexican Cokes are now going to be called American Cokes. Because that's what they're called. When you get a Coca-Cola with real sugar cane in it, you're like, oh, I got a Mexican Coke. Is that just a Texas thing? Is that just because we're so close to Mexico that we sometimes get these Mexican Cokes? Anyway, they're delicious. It is not a joke. I mean, real sugar cane tastes better than high fructose corn syrup. But the idea that anybody gives a fuck. First of all, here's my question. Exactly who is still drinking fully sugared Coke in 2025? I had a can of fully, I don't know where it is. I had a can yesterday of fully sugared Coca-Cola, and I enjoyed it, but I've spent the last 30 years of my life drinking Diet Cokes and now Coke Zeros. I don't know anybody who still, I don't know any kids. Actually, you know who drinks fully leaded Coca-Cola? 80-year-olds. That's who. 80-year-olds who grew up and never tasted Diet Coke. It's not their thing. They grew up with regular Coke. They're the ones who still drink it. So in 2025, I asked myself yesterday, how big of a change is this? Like if Coca-Cola really wanted to go from high fructose corn syrup in their Coca-Cola to sugarcane, what would this look like? And then I thought, well, I bet they don't make that much regular Coke anymore. I bet you that's almost like a boutique item in the Coca-Cola thing. Everybody drinks Diet Coke. The number one selling soda in the world is Diet Coke. And I don't think Coke is number two. It's probably Coke Zero is number two. So they actually could do this without it being such a big deal because, again, nobody actually fucking drinks Coke. They drink Diet Coke. So it'll be interesting. So Coca-Cola might do that. I could see them do that to try and drum up some interest in their classic Coca-Cola formula that nobody drinks. Stopped drinking fully sugared sodas years ago. When a fat guy like me stopped 30 years ago, I can only imagine what normal, physically conscious people are doing, right? So stop it. All right. So anyway, Coca-Cola, sugar cane. He's an 80-year-old guy. He likes his Cokes. Nobody drinks it. He thinks it's important to him. He threw it out there. He doesn't want us thinking about Epstein. So he's bringing sugarcane back to Coke. Oh, and by the way, yeah, it's the other thing. You know, there's a reason that we use high fructose corn syrup. It was because there were crazy tariffs put in place against Central American sugar importers because they were dealing with communism back then. Do you remember? Do you remember when like El Salvador was going communist and we had all of these problems in Central America? So one of the ways that we economically penalized these countries for dabbling in communism was we created these insane sugar tariffs. But there was also a benefit for the American farmer because if you switched from sugar and you went to high fructose corn syrup, now you're getting some bang for your American corn subsidy dollars, right? How many corn farms were kept in business because Coca-Cola was using high fructose corn? So it was in our best interest to move over and use the product corn that we are lousy with in this country. We have corn everywhere in this freaking country. So anyway, that's the reason that we went with high fructose corn syrup. So, you know, Trump being like, why did they do that? The stupid libs? Yeah, it was the stupid libs who in 1980 tried to help out the American farmer. That was the stupid libs, Trump. All right, so that distraction didn't work. Wake up this morning, we got a new one. Hey, what's the latest distraction this morning? Well, the latest distraction is this afternoon. That's the penis problem that Trump's got. Trump's dick don't work. I don't know, they announced that. They announced something about him not having a working penis. But before that this morning, they rolled something out. Alcatraz is back. Alcatraz. You guys, these are all the stupidest fucking issues. These are all issues that no president should ever even waste a moment of his day worrying about. But this president knows that the people who support him are fucking stupid. So this guy is just going to give them stupid chum. Here you go. Here's more stupid chum. Gulf of Mexico is now Gulf of America. Have some stupid chum. We're putting sugarcane back in Coke here. Have some more stupid chum. Alligator Alcatraz. Have some stupid chum. Here, real Alcatraz. Yeah, they said it couldn't be done because it would cost too much. I don't care. Stupid chum. And we're all still asking. We're all still asking about the Epstein thing. It ain't going away, pal. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's the last one. This was another one that was sandwiched in today. And this is more stupid chum. So remember, today we woke up with Alcatraz. Trump's bringing back Alcatraz. Don't ask about Epstein. Trump's bringing back Alcatraz. And then the second thing that happened today was Trump's got a broke dick. The doctor says Trump's dick hurts or whatever. I don't know what his problem is, but it's something like that. And then also, this one just broke this afternoon. Here's your latest distraction. Trump's going to put an end to college athletes in NIL. Why? Because every old man over 60 is like, why are these kids getting paid? Why are these college kids it's a fucking idiot old man argument. It's a get off my lawn fucking argument. Trump doesn't give a shit about it, but it's one of these fucking social issues that they're constantly using to divide us. Nobody gives a shit about NIL. Trump does suddenly. Oh, it's killing college sports. President Trump will reportedly sign an executive order, doing it with an executive order, to limit NIL money for young players. President Trump loves the free market so much that he's going to limit NIL spending. The name, image, and likeness, that's what NIL stands for. That's this new thing for the last 5 years or so, I guess, where college players, especially high-profile ones, not only get a free scholarship, but now they're allowed to make money off of their likeness, which I entirely support. You're going to take this kid and you're going to put him on billboards and you're going to sell tickets and you're going to make billions of dollars off your program, off of this kid's back. You're going to pay your fucking football coach $100 million contract. And then this kid blows out his knee his senior year. And it's like, well, you got an astronomy degree. Astronomy, please. Well, you got a communications degree. Oh, shut up. Bunch of people just using these kids for their own benefit. That's all it is. And look, we did it for a long time and we became normalized to the idea. But it doesn't mean at some point you don't wake up and go, wait a second, I know that seems normal because it's how it's always been done, but that doesn't seem right. Because it's not. It says here, the name, image, and likeness revolution has reshaped collegiate athletics. Players have more agency than ever to earn their market value, make some of the money they generate for sports programs, and ensure that their future, even in the event of a catastrophic injury or a failure to be selected in a pro league draft, is insured. That's all it is. That's all it is. It says here that could potentially change in the near future, courtesy of an executive order filed by President Trump. It says here, the order is expected to either establish NCAA-friendly rules to limit the earning potential of players. Yeah, he's going to limit their earnings. Nothing like a billionaire telling a young kid, you can't make that. This is all such an ugly look. Anyway, that's the latest one. I don't want to you can into it on your own, the NIL stuff. I hate that. All right, here we go. Let's move on to number 3, the third thing we're going to talk about on today's show. This is a viral video that has been going around. It is awesome. Where is it? Do we actually have it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so a couple of people went to a Coldplay concert. I don't know where this is. I don't even know they're on tour. I have no clue about that. Couple goes to a Coldplay concert, and apparently at some point during the Coldplay concert, Coldplay puts this, you got a Jumbotron. They put a couple up on the Jumbotron, right? And a couple was, whatever, just randos in the crowd. Well, on this particular night, last night, Coldplay put up a couple who I guess people know. I mean, they're not famous. It's the CEO of a website or an app or something called astronomy.com. Apparently, it's a successful thing. I've never heard of it. But the Jumbotron at the Coldplay show showed this guy and his head of human resources canoodling. Oh, how embarrassing. Apparently they were cheating. Apparently the CEO is married, and he went to the concert, and Coldplay put him on the Jumbotron, and he was getting down with his... So wait, let's just watch this, and then we'll talk about this, because this is awesome. All right, here we go. I want to react, too, because that's one of the most interesting parts of this thing. All right, so here we go. Coldplay concert. All right. There's like the Jumbotron. Right, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the Jumbotron. Look at this couple. First of all, can I just say the first time I saw this, I thought that was Jill Biden. I'm like, who is Jill Biden? Jill Biden is cheating on Joe. They caught her at a Coldplay concert with, I don't know who's that, Roger Sterling from Mad Men. I don't know who that guy looks like. But I did. Doesn't she kind of look like Jill Biden? I thought, hey, Jill Biden. All right, here we go. Middle of the Coldplay concert. They turn the camera on the crowd. Here you go. Look at them. Obviously, they're there together. He's got his arms around her. They're going to bang after this concert, is my point. Let's watch.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two.
Okay. All right. They've just noticed that they're on the big screen. All right. Now, her reaction here is not all that different from most people. They'd be, oh, I'm embarrassed. My hair, I look terrible. Don't put me up there. Right. You think so? That's just normal. No. Let's watch the whole thing, and then I'll explain what's happening.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
All right. Chris Martin of Coldplay, either they're having an affair or they're just really shy. Oh, they're having an affair, Chris. Oh, they are having an affair. They never thought that they would be up here on the screen. Let's watch it again, and let's break this down, because the dude, whose name is, I don't even know, I don't even care. He's the CEO of astronomy.com. The dude panics hard. Now, Jill Biden covers her face immediately, right? And by the way, it takes them like 3 seconds. They were up there for 3 seconds. People, saw them. Jill Biden covers her face instantly, with the reaction. But you can see that she's smiling. So she's laughing about it. He ain't laughing about it. This dude knows exactly that, as the CEO of this, is it even a big company? I don't know. The reaction to it seems to tell me that maybe it's an important company. I don't know. Watch him. He completely hides. There's no smile on his face.
Yeah. Oh, look at these.
All right, look at now. Right now, he is just now seeing it. They're seeing themselves on the jumbo. Look at this look. Here we go. What's next? Oh, boy. Look at the horror. The horror on his face as he realizes, his career might be over. All right, here we go. All right, she turns away.
All right.
He is not smiling at all. He understands the gravity of this and how this could be a really bad thing for his career.
Come on.
He is now going to drop down completely.
You're okay?
He is going away. No smile, no nothing. He's
what?
gone. All right, now let's check in on her. He's gone. We're not going to see him again. Too bad. We already saw him. Let's see what's going on with her. All right, so she's smiling here. Her back is turned, and she's talking to a girl who's with them in the back. I assume that since this woman here is the head of HR, I'm assuming that this girl is the future head of HR. I think that this girl that she's talking to is probably her assistant, probably about to get a big.
Having an affair, or they're just very shy.
All right, look at, so here's the friend. She's like, oh my God, I can show my face because I'm not the human resources director yet.
I'm not quite sure.
And there she goes, and then she just slinks away. Okay, one more time in real time.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Oh my.
I'm not quite sure.
All right, there you have it. All right, that was last night at the Coldplay concerts. Now, any thoughts on that? No, I mean, that's great. I mean, if you're going to cheat on your wife, honey, I got a work thing, got to go to this Coldplay thing. Oh, who's going to be there? Oh, human resources, that kind of thing. And then he's hooking up with the human resources lady. Cool. So Coldplay. All right, there's some. He is apparently married, and apparently she is married too. Although I read two different things that said one, they weren't sure. One said that she was, the other said that they didn't know. So they're both married. They're hooking up with each other. So you would think, in the way that the internet is going, I wouldn't want to be him today. Like all of this stuff. Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's bothered him. Here we are a couple of hours later, because there is a bit of a back and forth going on between this guy, the CEO of astronomy.com, and Chris Martin of Coldplay, who apparently, here, check this out. This was Coldplay official Twitter earlier today. Coldplay says, here, and then we'll have the response. Is this it? Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, okay, here, let's see what this is. All right, Coldplay says, starting with our next show, we're introducing a camera-free audience section for people and their side pieces. All right, so Coldplay getting into the joke. They like it. Shocking the world, however, the CEO, he decided to take to Twitter as well. He offered an apology, as one would expect. The CEO, he's got to answer for his crime, so big mea culpa. He's going to go to his Twitter and he's going to apologize for all that. Let's read what the CEO of astronomy, this is astronomer. What is it? Is it astronomer? I don't know. Astronomy.com? I don't know. Here's the statement. Statement from our CEO, Andy Byron. He says, quote now, let me start by apologizing to my family, my wife, and our wonderful employees. My behavior is inexcusable, and the shame that I'm receiving is well-deserved. I tried to hide my actions, but the truth has finally been revealed. I am a Coldplay fan. And not just of the first two albums. I also like the recent stuff. I'm going to take some time to contemplate my future. Please respect our family's privacy at this time. You are a king, sir. You are a king. I love that response. I love that response. Whatever is going on between this guy, Andy Byron, who was outed cheating on his wife at a Coldplay concert last night, whatever is going on in this dude's personal life is none of our fucking business. And he is taking to Twitter to basically fuck with us all. Like, oh, really? Yeah, you think I got in trouble or something? My wife and I, we don't know. Has his wife and he been separated for, a couple? We don't know. But everybody is running with, oh, my God, how'd you like to be his wife? This is a beautiful, beautiful tweet. Beautiful tweet from a guy who's going through it today. So look at this. I don't know what astronomy.com is or astronomy app or whatever. I've never heard of Andy Byron until today. But, sir, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Oh, you're a fan of somebody who's cheating on his wife? Shut the fuck up. We don't know the context of what's going on here. We have no idea. Here's what we do know. It is apparently within the corporate world, frowned upon for a CEO and an HR director to be hooking up. That's what he needs to be concerned about. That whatever the protocols are at the company that he established about, fraternization with, the upper management. That's the only thing he's got to be worried about. As far as the other stuff, his wife or her husband or their kids or whatever, mind your fucking business. It's not the only guy in the world who's currently cheating on his wife. Mind your business. Anyway, there you go. I thought that was a lot of fun. See, you want to see what he did there? He's a fun guy, that Andy Byron. Cheats on his wife, goes out to concerts on weeknights, writes funny tweets about the trouble he gets in. Kind of like Andy Byron, got to admit it. All right, let's go. What else do we have here? Okay, let's end this up. Let's end the show today. So here's what I want to end with, okay? A little TV review. Some of the changes that are coming to this show. I'm going to just start talking about whatever I want, right? Instead of trying to stick with, oh, here are the hot topics. Here's the news. I'm not a fucking journalist. There might have been a time in journalism school where I thought, oh, I'd like to be a newspaper writer or something. But then I got into radio and I just started shit talking on shock radio. So let's stop pretending like I have any journalistic credibility. I don't. So let's just, keep doing now what I've always done, which is just talk about whatever interests me. So moving forward, that's what this show is going to be. And it's going to focus a lot more on the shit that I like to talk about. TV. You know, I like to do a lot of TV stuff. Anybody who knows me knows I like comedy, I like music, I like sports, and I like TV. Things that I don't like, politics. Okay? So I think moving forward, this show is going to be more that kind of stuff. And to that end, I want to bring back an old podcast I did years ago, one of the early podcasts that I did called The Watch List. It was basically a daily sort of thing where I just told you what you should watch tonight. And then, like, I tell you, it becomes like a club. Like, every episode, I'm like, here's what you should watch tonight. Here's what I'm going to watch tonight. And then on the next day's show, I review what it is that I watched and then tell you again what to watch. It just becomes a nice little, we can have hot takes about TV shows and we don't hate each other forever. You know, I want to get more into that kind of vibe with you people. So to that end, I want to tell you about something that I recently saw. Now, you know that I'm a big fan of the Netflix, and you know that I'm a big fan of the Netflix series Trainwreck. Trainwreck! Have you guys watched Trainwreck? Oh, Trainwreck has been so good this season. Trainwreck is new episodes appear every Tuesday on Netflix, and they're 1 hour documentaries. You know, they're just 1 hour documentaries about something that happened in American society, in culture. I like to say that it's about media creatures and stories that maybe we don't remember. Oh, I forgot about that. It's great. It's really good. It's kind of like, if you're familiar with the ESPN series 30 for 30, it's like 30 for 30, except not sports. So Tuesday night of this week, they had an episode of Trainwreck debut that I have been waiting for all season. When I looked at all of the Trainwrecks that were coming, I was definitely interested in the Real Project X. That looked like a good one. I was definitely interested in Rob Ford, right? There was another one that they did on American Apparel. Remember American Apparel, that clothing company that was everywhere for like 3 years and then completely gone? Hey, what happened to American Apparel? That's a crazy story. So the new one this week is Balloon Boy, the story of Falcon Henny. Now, if you don't recall Balloon Boy or the story of the Henny family, let me refresh your memory. Richard Henny is a self-styled amateur scientist and reality star wannabe. He's been this for 20-something years. He had a family. He's got a lovely Japanese immigrant wife, Miyoki or something. He's got a bunch of kids. He's got like 3 kids, 3 boys, I believe. The youngest of which is Falcon Henny. Now, Dad, by the way, they're broke asses. They're broke. They got no money. His whole thing is that we're going to get on a reality series and we're going to become famous. That was his thing. He's also really smart, though. He is undeniably a very smart guy. So when he says he's an amateur self-taught scientist, there is some truth to that, except that, he's probably also fucking crazy. So, take from that what you want. So back in 2010 or something, Richard Henny, the father, was trying to get on a reality TV series. I think it was the Science Channel, the Learning Channel was doing something, and he was trying to pitch them on a reality series featuring his family and all the wacky experiments that they do in their free time. Which is always, because Richard Henny didn't work. He just came up with schemes, which I'm not criticizing him. I mean, I don't exactly dig ditches every day. I sit here and shake a can and go, hey, you guys like these shows? Please tip me. Like I'm your bartender or whatever. So anyway, he was working on a project with the family. The project was a fake UFO, a UFO that was actually inflated by a blimp, but it looked, blimp gas, but it looked, what is that? Was blimp hydrogen? I don't fucking know. Helium. Anyway, they were creating this thing in their backyard, and they were filming every step of it. So, of course, we've got great footage of how this whole situation unfolded. So they're building the UFO in the backyard, and somehow it becomes untethered to one of its straps, and it floats away. We're in Fort Collins, Colorado, I believe it is. Middle of the day, like a weekday, like a Wednesday at like 1. Kelly, my partner, and I were on the air. That's why I remember this story so vividly. Because this story, CNN started covering it. And we had the news channels on 3 TVs in our studio. We had MSNBC, Fox, and CNN. And actually, there was one with ESPN too. But anyway, we had all of that. And we started to notice with what we're doing, we're like, why are all 3 covering the same thing? And so we, live on the air that day, got completely hypnotized by the balloon boy story. Again, the balloon gets out of the backyard and floats away. The family on the ground, they're doing a head count, and one of the kids is missing. It's Falcon. Falcon was known to hide in the balloon structure. So now the family believes, and we've got it all on video because they were filming it. Now the family in the moment says this thing rises off into the sky. Now the family is panicking because they think Falcon, the 8-year-old, is in the balloon. They call the FAA, they call the police, they call 911, and of course they call the media. What are you calling the fucking media for? You think your kid's dangling from a balloon at 10,000 feet? So quickly, media recognized that this was a story that people would want to watch. So all the screens across America for about 2 hours on this weekday afternoon was fixed to this silver UFO-looking thing just cruising across the Colorado skyline. Mountains in the background, looks like nothing but desert underneath it, and this homemade balloon that we have all been told contains a little boy in there is just moving, man, really quick. So it's scary. We think we're watching, what could be the death of a child. There are people on the ground chasing this thing in cars, and when it finally loses the altitude and begins to come down, there is a dude within a second of this thing coming down. There is a dude running from his car through the desert. We see it because it's all being captured by a news helicopter camera. We see this thing, the balloon, come crashing. We see this guy running across the desert. It was amazing. It was dramatic, and it was great TV. We were all hoping that as this guy got to it, he would pull this kid out and everybody be like, oh, there's the boy. But there was no boy. There was no kid in it. So then immediately it goes to, he fell out. That kid fell out. At some point it fell out. There was some woman who had taken a picture of what looked like somebody or something falling out of the balloon. So they, of course, pushed that for a while. He fell out. We think this might be the picture. Turns out that picture was just a bird. It was just a bird flying, but it looked like it could be somebody falling out. Then it was revealed to all of us in this country that Falcon was never, in fact, in the balloon at all, that he was hiding somewhere in the house, and then it went on from there. Okay, so here, this is the trailer. Maybe this will refresh your memory. I tried to do, my own job of it right there, but watch. This is the trailer for the Trainwreck on Netflix. Here we go.
UFO
Ready?
powered by helium.
Hold on.
Looks like
This is a very unusual situation. It involves a home-built UFO powered by helium.
it looks like this Jiffy Pop thing floating across the sky.
I couldn't wrap my head around it.
It's so bizarre that you want to laugh,
What is this thing?
but then it turns serious.
What if my stupid experiment kills my son?
Richard always wanted to build a flying saucer.
When he said, we're gonna try and make a flying saucer, and we're like, cool.
Look at this, look at this.
I'm like a kid now.
All I wanted to do was make a really fantastic project for the kids.
Dad, Falcon's in there! In that ship!
We heard all this chaos in their backyard. They said Falcon got in the balloon, and it took off.
The biggest nightmare ever.
Everyone starts covering this thing.
Incredible breaking news story.
It's worldwide.
It's blowing dust. It's cooking.
He's headed straight for air traffic.
This could be really bad. We all thought that once that balloon came down, this whole thing would be over.
Ryan, what are you seeing on the ground there next to the balloon?
Well,
I think it's crazy how I was 6 years old and I was able to affect the whole state of the country.
I thought, here it goes. It's going to take a whole new other spin now.
And everybody starts criticizing us.
What went through my head was Richard did this purposely.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
This family is crazy. This dad should be arrested.
At the sheriff's office, you lie, you die.
Richard just played us all.
What the hell's wrong with you people? Richard and Naomi love those kids.
Why you don't get it?
People like Richard are not regular people. If you think you know him, you probably don't.
All right, there you have it. That is the latest installment of Trainwreck, the Trainwreck series on Netflix. Balloon Boy, the story of Falcon Henny and the Henny family. Okay. So why did we all turn on the Henny family after making them, caring about them for about 8 hours on a Wednesday afternoon 15 years ago? It's because later that night, they went on, it was Larry King. Yeah, it was Larry King, the Larry King show on CNN. Larry King back in the day, if you remember, they would always have the biggest, most interesting interview of the day would appear on Larry King. It was a thing. Well, Larry King ain't there. Larry King ain't there on this day. Instead, filling in for Larry King on Larry King Live, we've got the great Wolf Blitzer. He's the worst. So at about 8 o'clock, 8:15 probably, because, probably did some other things on the show. 8:15, we all tune in to Larry King Live. Wolf Blitzer is there, and he's got the Henny family. And this happened. Here, I'll show you what happened here. Can I pull it up? Okay, so here, we'll look at. Okay, hold on. I want to make sure we got it. All right, again, Larry King being hosted on this day by Wolf Blitzer, the worst ever, and interviewing the Henny family hours after the big balloon incident. Here you go.
We believe 100% that he was on board.
And Falcon was really in the garage this whole time. I don't know if Falcon can hear me, but was he, because I know at some point he fell asleep in that garage, but he was hiding out because he thought you were going to punish him for something that happened earlier in the day. Did he hear anything? Did he hear you screaming out, Falcon, Falcon?
He's asking Falcon, did you hear us calling your name at any time? You did?
You did?
All right, now this is interesting. So the first thing he says is, did you hear us calling your name? You were hiding. Because remember, the story is now that Falcon got in trouble. Falcon ran and hid. This whole balloon incident occurred. The parents thought he was in the balloon because he used to play in there, and they couldn't find him. Because, again, he's hiding because he got yelled at. They don't know that. So now they ask him when we were calling your name, that he just gave an answer that the parents didn't like. And you see how mom jumps in with, you did? You heard us? All right. Falcon is going rogue here. Okay. Falcon is going to start answering Wolf Blitzer's questions, and they ain't going to be answers that the parents like.
Why didn't you come out?
Why didn't you come out when you heard us calling your name, Falcon?
You guys said that we did this for the show.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. You put the kid on TV. You ask him a question. He's a little nervous. Dad just said, "Why didn't you come out when I was calling your name?" And the kid goes, "Because you told me not to, Dad. Because we were doing it for the show." Just says this on TV. Now the best part of it, which really sells it, because the kid, you can just be like, oh, that kid doesn't know what he's saying. I don't know that it's necessarily as cut and dry as it appears because he's a kid and I don't really understand. The dad's reaction, as soon as the kid says that, the dad goes, oh man, like, oh no. And then look at the mom. The mom springs into it like, no, that is not what you're, no. The Henny family did this as a stunt to get noticed by a reality TV production company. Okay. That's what was going on here. And the kid accidentally let that part of the story, because the kid doesn't know what is and isn't, right? The kid will watch this again one more time. And I also want to point this out. You know why I say Wolf Blitzer is the absolute worst? Wolf Blitzer doesn't even pounce on this. He just lets it go. No follow-ups. I think he says something like, wait, I heard what the kid said, but tell me about breakfast at the Henny house. What is breakfast like? Wolf Blitzer is the worst. I'm Wolf Blitzer. I've got a beard. I've been here for 40 years. In fact, they stopped paying me in the mid-90s. I just keep showing up. I don't ask follow-ups. I'm not really smart, but I talk like this, have a beard, and wear a suit. So you morons have been listening to me for 40 years. Wolf Blitzer is the worst. All right, let's listen to this one more time. Here we go.
Why didn't you come out?
You guys said that we did this for the show.
Yeah.
No, we did this for the show.
Yeah.
The dad, that was a reflex. It was involuntary. He realized in that moment that this was fucking bad, that the kid can't say this. And the only way that he could respond was, oh man. I just love that.
We did this for the show.
Yeah.
No.
You hear, Mom? No, that's not what we told you to say. No.
Show.
Yeah.
No.
You didn't,
That's okay, though, because we've got a veteran journalist in Wolf Blitzer who I'm sure is going to follow up on that.
come out?
No.
I heard what he said, but I'm not, it wasn't really clear. What was his reasoning why he heard you screaming Falcon, Falcon, and I'm sure he heard his mom screaming Falcon, Falcon, but why didn't he come out of the garage at that point?
Well, you know, whenever we tell him things like, you know, it's a bad thing to do, he does go and hide. He cowls down. And, like, if we go to the store and he wants to buy some candy or something, I have to tell him no. So he's always behind. I mean, the other boys are always telling him, hurry, Falcon, hurry. So he does...
It's a word salad. Dad is like humming.
He does tend to do that.
Did you think, Mayumi, did you think it was possible that the Falcon was just hiding out this time? And
fucking Wolf Blitzer has just moved on. He has changed the subject, and he let that go because he's terrible, because he is really not good at his job, never has been. I don't know why more people don't talk about how awful fucking Wolf Blitzer is. Anyway, there we go. Then the next day, this of course blew up. Remember this show, Larry King Live, 8:00 Central Time on CNN, 8:00 at night. This balloon boy incident had occurred earlier that day, all afternoon. So America went to bed going, I don't know how to feel about the whole balloon boy thing. I saw the thing on CNN where the kid says it was just a bit, but right. So that's how we went to bed. We wake up in the morning, and you know, I don't know. Can I show you this one? Maybe I'll show it to you. Yeah, okay. So we wake up in the morning, and the family is now being forced to answer for all of this craziness. They go on Good Morning America. I think it was Good Morning America. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Here, let's show you the Good Morning America. That's CNN, ABC News. No, that's 5 years ago. Good Morning America. Oh, I don't want the Where Are They Nows. All right, whatever. I can't find the Good Morning. Is this the Good Morning America? Yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay. So after that, the next morning, they wake up early, trot the whole family out again. They're on Good Morning America. Now they got to answer for, you know, what happened on Larry King the night before. They've had the night to think about it. They trot the kid out on TV. And I don't know what's going on with the kid, but do you remember he like almost vomited? He got sick. This kid, I don't know if he got yelled at. I don't know what the hell. He knew he was in trouble. Here, watch. This is from, I believe it was Good Morning America. Or Today's Show, I'm sorry. Same thing, right? We don't make a distinction.
First of all, let's clarify, he's 6. And I don't know that he really understood, you know, the question he was being answered. He did answer other questions kind of on the same level. But after the initial interview with all the people out in front, I told everybody, my kids and my wife, to come inside. And I looked behind me, they weren't there. So then I go over to open the garage, and Falcon's climbing up in the joist in the attic space. And Rapper's there.
Okay, first of all, you got to move the banner here. It's completely covering little Falcon. America wants to see Falcon. Why isn't the director in the booth going, lose the banner? Lose the banner, show the kid.
So then I looked to the right, and there was like 30 press people there. And anyway, somebody had asked him if they could show, he would show them.
He's getting sick. The kid is getting sick. Dad is trotting him out. The kid doesn't want to be on TV. He knows he fucked up last night. He got yelled at. I don't know what was going on, but he doesn't feel good about it. So they trot him out again. There's no reason to have him back out there again today unless you're using him as a prop. Any father who saw his kid go through that with the Larry King show might show up on the Today Show the next day, but you leave the kid out of it. You say, you know what? He's been through enough. We don't need to exploit him anymore. No, sounds to me like Dad was forcing the kid to be there. And look at the kid. The kid is sick. The kid does not want to be there.
How he got in the attic. So he was obliging them. And one of the guys told me it was for some. Mom. One of the guys told me it was for some TV show. So that's what he was.
He just said, Mom, and he covered his mouth. The kid is about to vomit. He's going through some shit.
Referring to one of the guys told me, and one of the guys told me it was for some. Mom. One of the guys told me it was for some TV show. So that's what he was referring to. That's what he was referring to when.
They had a bucket ready. They had a bucket ready. They knew he was sick. They had a bucket ready. And they still dragged him out on TV. You got to watch this Balloon Boy thing on Trainwreck. You got to see these people. You got to see these people now, 20 years later or whatever it is. And you got to judge for yourself. But I'm telling you, garbage people.
He made that statement.
And I know I want to point out that the sheriff's office said last night that they believe your account of what happened, but they do want to question you a little bit more today, Richard, as well. And I'm sure some of the questions will be hard for you to deal with. So let me just ask you right now, just put it out there and get your honest answer. Was this a hoax or a publicity stunt?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And now I'm starting to get a little ticked off because I'm repetitively getting asked this.
Did you hear this poor little kid retching? Get him off the set.
The last couple of interviews. And what have I got to gain out of this? And I'm not selling anything. I'm not advertising anything.
What do I have to gain out of this? Well, we now know that you were actively and aggressively pursuing the Learning Channel, or Discovery, or whatever it was. You were pitching them on a television series about your family doing exactly these kinds of things. That, you duplicitous piece of shit, that is what you had to gain out of it.
What have I got to gain out of this? And I'm not selling anything. I'm not advertising anything. My family and I, we do this all the time. You know, we're always doing some kind of scientific research. We're always building something together. I teach my kids how to shoot cameras.
All right, whatever. There you have it. So that's just a little bit to remind you of who these people are. Trainwreck on Netflix, Trainwreck Balloon Boy, the latest installment, incredible. And it's really good. Terrific. All right. Hey, Bill Falk. Hey, Bill, guess what? There's a good chance that trivia might be back. So, hey, we'll see about that. Bill Falk is in the chat room. Keynote is here. My boy Key. I love Keynote. He said Pugs is the dopest. No, you, sir, you are the dopest. I don't have a lot of friends that used words like dopest, but among them, Keynote's one of my favorites. All right, one last time, folks, if you can, please help support this kind of show. Local, independent, daily talk radio, hosted by yours truly. We're going to do another show tomorrow. I don't know what time yet. I don't know. Could do a noon show tomorrow, but probably not. Let's not pretend that's a real possibility, because it's probably not. I'm thinking maybe around 2. Maybe around 2. How do we like the 3:30 today? The numbers don't say we like the 3:30. I don't know. Trying to figure out what time works best for me to do these. All right. Anything else? Is there anything that I need to mention? I don't think I do. Okay. Love you guys. Again, tip and support this show if you can. If not, it's all right. You're cool. Be well. See you tomorrow. Bye.